guys, welcome back.
Hello.
Welcome back to actually the first episode of a new show that we're trying to put up together with my good friend Brian. And it's called the Gear Talk. Okay, so we're going to talk about guitars, pedals.
Gear.
Gear.
We're going to talk about gear.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
we have a lot of good stuff today. We're going to have some fun, okay? So I'm trying to speak all in English. I'm sorry for you guys from Italy, but it's going to be too difficult for me to translate everything, okay? But if you have any questions, we have the chat, so you can write us down, and we're going to respond to everybody, okay? So, Brian.
Davide.
It's been a long time.
It has been. But let me ask you this. This is the first time you've had someone in this room.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
Actually, this is the first time that you went here.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I don't think you've had anyone else in here.
Yeah. It's a sacred place. Nobody come here.
Yeah.
So you have to be honored to be
I am. I'm terribly honored.
You're blessed.
But we've been talking about doing this for a very long time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we started talking about this a year ago, or something like that. And,
Yeah.
Because you are one of the biggest enthusiast guitar pedal guy that I know, and also one of my dearest friends.
I'll take the second part as a compliment. The first one's a little scary, but there's got to be bigger pedal guys out there. There's entire YouTube channels with pedal guys.
Exactly.
But now we're here doing it.
Yeah, we're gonna have some fun. And actually, Brian is actually one of my dearest friends, and probably the first person that I met here in New York. Actually, before I moved to New York.
Yeah.
And you helped me a lot to get acquainted to the city.
Yeah.
We met on Twitter.
Yeah, that's right. We
that?
met on Twitter. Yeah, because I was...
the power of social media, right?
Power of social media. I remember you said, because I asked you for lessons, and I didn't know you were in Italy.
You're right.
And you said you did virtual lessons. I said, I don't want to do a virtual lesson, but if you're ever in New York, let me know. And you're like, I'm moving there.
It was funny.
Yeah, that was very funny, and here we are.
Yeah. So it's been a second.
Yeah, that's true. And we've shared gear stuff and pedal stuff.
Yeah.
And life stuff.
Exactly. That's the most important.
Yeah,
part.
That is.
Actually, you watch every show that I did in New York.
Yeah.
Especially the first.
Yeah.
Actually, the first one you've been there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And I documented. I got
you document
pictures
everything.
and
exactly
some video and audio and
yeah.
Number one fan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mark that. Okay, so what have you brought here today?
Well, you asked me to bring some guitars.
Yeah.
And
of course, right?
And some a pedal. So what did I bring? I brought a Suhr Strat because you are a Suhr Strat guy.
Yes, sir.
And so I brought him this lovely, beautiful Sonic Blue Strat.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, this is beautiful.
Test it out.
This is we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
I brought should I pull it out or? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go over here.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm reading the comments.
Yeah.
Everybody are loving the gear. That you brought.
Okay. I brought a.
This is interesting, guys.
This is a PRS Vela. Vela. I'm not really sure how they pronounce it. I say Vela, so we're gonna say Vela.
Oh, Vela.
Yeah.
Vela. Yes.
That's how you say it in Italian.
Italian.
Yeah. So I know you are not a PRS
Definitely
aficionado in any way, and I really wasn't, but I'm becoming one, and I think it's because I'm getting older and it's scary. But anyway, and I really, I've been wanting you to try this because I think this is a very interesting and not typical PRS guitar. It has some very interesting sonic stuff happening. So I think that this might be up your alley more so than other
that's very
other
interesting.
PRS.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm sure we'll dig into that with the what's the name of the show again? With
Gear Talk.
Talk. We're gonna talk about the gear.
And play too. Come on.
So I'll put this over here carefully. And I brought now I know you have the Gladio. The Gladio
Yes.
The Cornerstone Gladio pedal on your board. You've used it.
Yep.
But you didn't have the SC,
Yeah.
which I have. So I figured I'd bring that up, and we would, you could A/B that.
Yeah, let me show. So this
Yeah.
is the one that I have on my pedal board. So the double version.
Right.
And Brian just brought this guy, the single one. Okay, so we're gonna test it out and see the difference, and let's see. We're gonna have some fun.
Yeah, and the other piece of gear I brought is a minor piece of. A lot of people don't think about this.
I
but
told you guys, he was an enthusiast.
I'm an enthusiast, and you over the years have really. This is a piece of gear I never really thought very deeply about, but you really turned me on to how important this is, and that is a pick. The
That's
picks.
interesting.
Yeah. So I brought. I have one because these are crazy expensive. One of these blue chip picks.
Yeah. Let me put it in the camera.
There we go.
Can you talk about a little bit about this, because there's a lot of.
I got turned on to him by.
We have our faces, so he cannot.
Yeah, that's all right. I got turned on to him by.
Oh, let me turn this other camera.
Yeah. Where is it? Oh, there. Okay. Wait. We need a focus.
Yeah.
There it is.
There it is.
No.
Blue chip.
Blue chip.
Yeah.
Now I think these are from a company out in, I think down south somewhere, or Nashville, or out somewhere. Forgive me, blue chip people, for not knowing where you're located.
And obviously, it's one of the most expensive pick.
Yeah,
right?
I think this was like $35 for a
35.
pick.
$35.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But I just, I think anyone, if you like gear, you have to, you got to try this stuff out.
Yeah.
The downside of buying a $35 pick as opposed to like an expensive guitar or an expensive pedal, you can buy a guitar or a pedal, and if you don't like it, you can sell it. You can turn around. You can make some money back on it. You can't really sell a pick. Although, if anyone, right. $20 for anybody. No, I'm kidding. I'm keeping this. But.
And also, we have some alternatives to that.
Oh, yeah.
Because I just got this guy from Diodario, and it's supposed to be very similar. So it's probably the same kind of material. So
yeah, I think it's a very similar.
Yeah.
I think it's their competition to the blue chip.
Yeah, there's a open market on that matter.
Yeah.
And also, what else?
And I have this, which is I think I bought this just out of curiosity. It's called a chicken pick.
Chicken pick.
A chicken pick, and it just happened to be in my bag. So I said, you know what, it's white, so we're getting some.
It's very difficult to.
Yeah, but it's okay. You gotta believe me, it's a little. But it's interesting. It's kind of thick. It's got a beveled edge, sharp beveled edge, and I figured we'd check it out and see how much you don't like it.
Exactly.
Because you won't.
I would start from this beauty, man.
I think we should. Yeah.
I mean, this is really fantastic for everybody loving Stratocaster, and especially the Suhr. It's fantastic, especially the neck.
Yeah, that's a beautiful
really
neck. It's flamed.
Something.
It's.
Let me check this.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you can actually see all the beauty of this guitar from camera. you gotta believe me, because it's really something. Yeah, you can definitely
you can see
feel
the flame on this neck, and this is just it's a typical Suhr finish. It's great.
And actually also the ad stock is really. It's different.
Yeah.
From the other one. Actually, a little different.
Yeah, because this is their new hybrid
right.
style with the step down.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I got now.
Yeah.
So they trying to get him back to the old one in some way, right?
Right. But they're adding that kind of
that
little detail, which is
interesting.
Kind of sharp, and I like the way that even though the neck is satin, that headstock is got a gloss front, which is it's aesthetically very, very nice.
That's really nice.
Yeah,
Let's
and
try
this. Yeah, and this guy, unusual for a Suhr. And one of the reasons I got this particular one is because it has the 6-point like traditional vintage bridge, as opposed to the 2-point, which is a little more modern. But
Very nice.
you know, we all know the 6-point gives better vintage tone.
Right. We know that, right?
We know that, yeah, you know.
We believe that.
Sure, I believe that.
You believe that.
So, yeah.
It's really nice. And also, I'm not a big fan of humbucker, especially on the bridge, but I have to say this is interesting.
Yeah, and I think it's got I think there's the 63.
63? Oh.
Yeah, in the middle and the neck, which I think is Suhr's newer, slightly version of the MLs.
Ah.
Yeah, they're like the MLs, but tweaked just a
That's
little bit.
that's
Yeah.
interesting because I really don't like the V60.
The which one?
The V60.
Oh, the V60s. Yeah. I don't like. And I had a Suhr that had the V70s in it
Oh yeah.
for like a hot second, and I just was like, didn't care for them. But I'm sure people out there, some people love them.
Yeah, I have a lot of students that got the V60, and they sounds great to when you listen to that guitar. But you know, as a feeling that I get under my finger, it's a little too compressed. You know?
Yep.
A little too compressed. So we're using, as I usually do, the 2-Rock and the OX Universal Audio. So no plugins are involved in the testing.
This is pure sound.
Exactly, pure
From
sound.
heart to fingers to your ears.
Exactly.
Through my guitar. Although he's better at it than I am. So.
And actually, no pedals involved. Just clean sound now.
Yeah, right?
It's not splittable, right?
No, that's not
Okay.
splittable. It's very articulate. Yeah, I was going to say, the tone is very responsive with that.
And it's not too compressed.
No.
The problem that I have with the humbucker is always that it's too much compressed, right? Really, really nice.
Yeah. What's great, that humbucker really works well in those the 2 and 4 positions. I think, with this.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's try.
Yeah.
That's right. I love this. You converted me on the
See, this
to
is-
the humbucker.
This is dangerous.
This is dangerous.
This is very dangerous.
For me, it's dangerous. Actually, it's not that. I mean, when you pass from the single coil to the humbucker, it's not
Right,
that.
you're not getting that,
Yeah.
that volume difference. So really did a great job. And
Yes.
I'm not entirely sure on this one, but I'm pretty sure this guitar doesn't have the Suhr silent circuit.
Okay. It
I'm not
doesn't
sure
have that. Okay.
yours has it though, right?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. But still have no hum issue.
No.
Let's
A
try
little
this.
hum's okay.
Yeah, I mean,
You know, it's rock and roll, baby. You know.
I'm trying to put myself in the camera.
So what'd you put on it? Even more shanks.
Yeah, I'm
All right.
playing the shanks now, which is a kind of overdrive.
Is that neck profile different than what you have? You're on your shirt.
It's pretty similar. Maybe I don't know actually. Let me try. Let's do an A/B test.
A/B. We're gonna A/B it.
Can you guys hear us okay? Ci sentite bene? Ci vedete e ci sentite bene, ragazzi?
Yeah. Let's see. What pickups you have on that currently?
ML.
Okay.
What do you guys think? Che ne pensate? I can hear the fact that they are very similar,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yes, they have the same kind of vibe,
Yeah.
which is
For sure. They
yeah.
do. Yeah, what are you playing? Okay, the neck pickup there, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting how this guy sound,
After listening to
right?
the humbucker here, yeah.
It's almost like the same kind of gain, right? What
Yeah.
do you feel? I don't feel the lack of
No.
any, right?
Right.
That's interesting.
Yeah. This is not overpowering.
Yeah.
The single coils here,
Which
And
is a
it-
great
it
thing, too.
matches with that nice, but I think this gives it a little bit more roundness.
Yeah.
Yeah. But interestingly, I think yours has slightly more lower mids happening.
That's right.
Yeah. Which
Let's
is,
do
you know,
another-
it's all a matter of taste, or
Yeah. No, definitely know
Yeah.
the. Gianluca says la Suhr di Davide sembra essere più morbida, l'altra Suhr sembra un po' più squillante. So Gianluca says that mine Suhr is a little warm.
Yeah.
And this is got a little more.
bite.
Yeah,
a little
but
more,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And Joseph says, I agree to Gianluca.
And I agree with
Yes.
you gave me the squeaky chair.
The squeaky chair, yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
that's
part
like-
of the environment, you know. Yeah, Gianluca. Yeah, that's what the Gianluca says. Yes, I'm translating to you, Brian. You need to learn Italian for this show, Brian.
All right, I'll work on it.
Work out.
I'll put that at the top of my list.
Okay, so let's try again.
Yeah, let's check it out.
It's different. It's not that it's better or worse.
Is that still stanky? It's a little more stanky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice.
You like that. I can tell. I can tell what's coming out of that you like that. It's agreeing with you. That's. I think everyone would agree that guitar is agreeing with you. And now you hate me.
Yes. Man, this is fantastic. I mean, I really love the neck.
Yeah.
For the playability and how.
Yeah, it feels broken in. I mean, I haven't put a lot of time on that, and it's when I took it out of the bag when I first got it, I was like, this feels broken in, and and played for a while. I mean, Suhr does that. We know that Suhr does outstanding work for sure.
That's something unbelievable with Suhr guitars. I mean, you plug it in and okay, that's
there it is.
They have everything.
Yeah.
I don't.
Now I know we disagree a little bit because I've had a couple of Suhrs, and I sold you his Telecaster was.
Yeah.
That was mine.
Exactly.
Yeah, every time he came to my house and tried it, he's like, if you ever want to sell this, and then
something is happening again.
Yeah.
I can feel it. I can feel it.
There was a method for me bringing this today.
I can feel it.
But so I mean, Suhrs, I can never argue with how good they are. Absolutely. It's just I think different manufacturers, different guitars, any equipment will vary to whoever's playing it. Right?
Yeah.
You bring your own mojo to it, and some things resonate better than others.
Yeah.
That's the way the universe works.
Yeah. No. Exactly.
And Suhrs are always a dilemma for me because I appreciate how good they are, and I'm like, man, these are great. And I know you play them. I hear you play them, and I'm like, man, he does magic on that. And there are other players who do incredible things on Suhr instruments.
Right.
But for me, they're a little clinical. Sometimes.
That's something that many people say about Suhr. So it's two HD guitars, right?
Yeah. It's not even. It's not, to me. It's not HD in terms of the sound. Although that's, if we're just comparing to a Fender, I think almost any boutique build, I think is more HD than what Fender usually does. I think it's more in the feel and the touch sensitivity for me with the Suhrs.
That's interesting.
Because they're very easy to play, but they're also almost too easy. If that makes sense. I don't know.
To me, it's interesting because to me, Suhr just got a sweet spot. So they have the vintagey sound with the modern playability. That's what I like the most.
Right.
On the Suhr, that I don't always got on the Fender.
Yes, absolutely.
Because you got the vintagey sound, but you don't have the modern playability, especially with custom shop.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah, that's definitely an issue. I mean, the Fenders, with Fender, as we know, you can pick one up and it's magic.
Yeah.
And you can pick up another one and be like, yeah, this is not my cup of tea. There's something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And for me, I think you want an instrument to fight you, but fight you in a way you want to be fought, right? If it's fighting you in a way that is making it work, that there's no reward to the fight, then I think it's a little, it's unrewarding in that sense,
It's a really blurred line on that, but I agree.
Yeah.
The guitar needs to fight you in a good way.
In a good way.
Yeah, no, I like this.
I can tell.
Yeah. Since we are talking about overdrive and overdriven sound.
Yeah.
So I was using the shanks that you guys know that I put in my pedal board recently. So so Brian brought the Gladio, the single channel Gladio, which is this guy. It's surprisingly good.
Why is that? You have the other Gladio. Why would this be surprising?
Because it's different.
Well,
I can. How can you come up with something better from something that is good enough already?
Well, I don't know if it's better. It's different. It's different.
It's not better. It's different.
It's different. It's different. My understanding is that the Gladio SC is the same as the B side of the double Gladio.
So let me show the picture again.
Let's show the picture.
That might help. Next time probably I'm gonna have another camera with that. But so that's the Gladio that I have with two channels.
Right. And I think one side is more like a tube screamer, right? And the other side is more of a, I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah, it's
not really a Klon, but
I don't know.
You got the jazz rock button, so that tells you it's the lineage is
down
a D pedal sound. So the SC is the D side, that jazz rock side, but they add the clean, so you can dial in the clean signal to taste, as they say. I hate that term.
Huh?
I hate when people say, "Oh, dial it into taste."
Let's change key.
So
definitely you can hear the dumble.
Yeah.
You know.
So the way we have it, you have it right now, is that you're dialing the clean is about it's about 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock.
Okay.
Let me dial it all the way out.
Yeah. So now we're turning down the clean side.
So now it's clean.
And I can feel the difference.
You can tactily feel that. That's interesting.
It's more like the second channel of the
Yeah,
Gladio.
it probably feels more compressed, a little more.
Yeah.
So I'm going to turn it back up to probably around, maybe a little higher than when you had it. Let's turn it up to about 3 o'clock.
So now we're fitting the clean sound into
Feeding
the
into the
pedal.
mix.
Yeah. It's more like an amp-like kind of feel. It's not like an overdriven sound that comes from the pedal.
And you hear the guitar itself come through, which is it's really nice. It's really nice.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, that's very nice. And I think, I'm not sure what the switch does. Let's see. Let's switch it out. See what happens.
Much more gain.
Switching it back.
It's more like an EQ kind of thing. What does it say? Comp?
Yeah, I think it has a little
Okay.
compression. That sounds good. Let's see. More dirt to it.
Yeah.
What do you find yourself using the larger Gladio for on your?
So usually I play the Gladio. I use the Gladio on some song, not everywhere. especially the one that needs more dynamic.
I see.
Like plug it in, where I use a lot of the bridge pickup, and it starts very low, dynamically speaking. So I use that a lot for that.
So okay, interesting. So you're using the left. He's using the left side of the pedal,
Mainly,
which is different than this one.
Yeah.
This is a replication of the side you usually don't use.
Uh-huh.
So that's interesting.
Yeah. I really like this. But I can feel different now with the single channel. This is the first channel of the double.
The double Gladio.
Yeah. Let me try with the single.
Yeah, I was gonna say because now you're using this
Too much compressed. I mean,
with the humbucker, which
Yeah.
is what you're not used to. So maybe some of that what you're
Exactly.
hearing is from the humbucker and not from the pedal. That sounds different. The single call,
so that's the sound that I use.
That's that sound you use.
Yeah, yeah.
So let's maybe this.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
I think that has a little fatness and warmth to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're not losing
The bite.
that mid cut.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
That
Let's go back on the first channel.
yeah, sure. Interesting.
Interesting.
We got different flavors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's try with the. Let's A/B test with the Jamray.
Oh. Switch back.
Yeah, we're using a different kind of gain, obviously.
Yeah.
That's the Gladio again. It's nice. And it cleans up really good.
Let me hear it.
That's really nice.
That was sweet. That is, yeah, that is wonderfully sweet. Yeah. You can tell why these pedals have ended up on a lot of guys' boards. They're just great. I mean, either one of them. Either you got the double-sided Gladio or even this newer SC one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's try with the double channel turned on.
Do you use that a lot? Do you put both channels on?
Not actually.
Okay.
Not a lot. But I like that.
It's a little dirtier.
Yeah. It's more like a distortion. Which is interesting too. So that was the
Right.
bow channels on, and then let's see if that's the maximum amount of gain that it got.
That's nasty.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I wonder if we leave that on and we put the A channel of this one on.
Let's try.
Yeah, although it's gonna be a little different because I think we're reversing the way the circuit's
Yeah.
run. But hey,
Let's try.
if we can't do this on Gear Talk, when else can we do this, right? So let's try that.
So
Here's-
now we're using the first channel of the double preamp and the Gladio, the single channel of that, which is interesting. I love that option,
it's kinda cool.
the clean option.
Yeah, it really changes the whole, what you can do with the pedal,
Yeah.
with the sound for sure. Nice.
Too many options. That's the problem.
Well, that's what we're talking about. Gear, it's options, right?
Yeah, but
it gives us options.
We would need a too big board
right.
to cover everything.
That's just fine.
That's like
We got to hang out and turn all the knobs and see what happens.
and turn on 300 pedals. How many pedals you
Right?
have?
Right.
Like, too
What's
much.
the Yngwie Malmsteen thing? More is more, my friend.
More
More
is
is more.
And 11 is one louder, right?
One louder. You can always go one louder. And if you have a pedal, and you can torque 4 more knobs to turn.
Exactly. But
Yeah.
that's interesting. I gotta say that it's different, and it's really good, and it's different from the Gen-Ray. I thought it was similar to the Gen-Ray, but it's not.
Well, I think a lot of times, I think you can dial a lot of pedals to sound like
Right.
each other.
Right.
The trick is to find where what one
Right.
particular pedal can give you that
Mm-hmm.
the other pedal couldn't. I mean,
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think a lot of dirt pedals are, I mean, if you spend a couple of minutes, you can get them pretty similar to each other.
Yeah.
You
No,
know.
definitely.
So the fun is finding these zones where it's giving you something that you weren't expecting.
Yeah.
Well,
I have to say, with these pedals, the Vemiram, the Gladio, you can taste the quality,
Oh yeah.
right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
as soon as you turn it on, it's okay.
Yeah,
So,
and the great thing, I think a mark of a really great pedal is one of two things. Either it gives you, like, you turn it on and it's the sound, like a Tube Screamer is like that. You put it on,
right.
there it is.
Yeah, exactly.
There's like a Big Muff. You turn it on, you get what's on, you get what's on the package.
Yeah.
or you get a pedal that no matter where you tweak the knobs, you're getting something usable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some things have one setting, and that's all you get.
Yeah.
But that's okay because it's a great thing.
Yeah, no,
You know?
definitely.
But other pedals sometimes, you know, the bad pedals are, you know, you turn the knob and you're like, why would I ever use this?
Exactly.
You know, you get into these areas that are just
That's interesting because to me, it needs to be useful in a
Right.
musical way. Because otherwise, I wouldn't put it on my pedal board.
right.
So too many options, it's not a good thing to me.
I know.
It's I don't want to.
You want to
know-
set it and forget it.
Yeah,
That's-
exactly.
yeah.
I don't want to get crazy, especially on during the show. I just remember what should be like to get that sound, you know.
So I'm very curious now for you to try the PRS.
Yeah, let's
Vela,
try that.
because we've been surring out here, and I really want to hear you in particular on this guitar
Yeah,
because
this is crazy, man.
yeah.
At
Is it-
first, I told you, what do you think about And then, so introduce the girl to the audience. What is this? A PRS Vela?
Vela, yeah.
And there's
They're
a
very
number.
interesting. I'm not sure what they. I mean, these are proprietary pickups for this model. I think this is what they call a D style
Mm.
pickup. I think it's a single coil, and I forget. I think this is the same pickup they have in the Starla model. It's kind of Gretschy. It's kind of similar to that. And why I love the bridge on this because it's like a Tele bridge, although it's got the
This
two
is
barrels instead of three, which is kind of interesting. And it top loads. There's no string through on this. So that's
really interesting.
Yeah, and we were talking before that PRS has this new Tele model, the NF53 coming out. Which
Yeah.
I want to try. And it's interesting. They have the exact same bridge on it, and it's funny because I'm seeing these people talk about, oh, look at this great new bridge that they just put on this thing. I'm like, it's been on this thing for a decade now. So
A decade? Wow.
yeah, I think this guitar's been out for
Oh, really?
yeah, at least 10 years.
It reminds me a Gibson model. I have to check on the internet and see exactly what it is. But I have a great friend of mine in Italy. It actually looks like you. I have to show the picture.
We're everywhere, man. We're
Exactly.
everywhere,
It's incredible. And he has a Gibson like very similar to this shape
Yeah.
with this kind of
Yeah, and I love this particular one. Some PRS does this on a couple of their models, which it's just a satin finish. There's no poly
Yeah,
on it,
yeah.
and it looks really nice, and it makes for a very light guitar. These are incredible.
yeah. This is very light.
And what I like too is that the neck is finished in the same, so you don't get that very glossy neck
Mhm.
feel that some people don't like
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah, no, me too.
But
So it's really interesting, very light, and also the fact that you have a kind of Tele bridge. That gives you that kind of Tele vibe, which is pretty unusual. And as I was saying, I was considering getting a Gibson Les Paul.
well, I was always thinking I wanted to get the PRS DGT, the David Grissom one, at some point. But every time you look at them, they're expensive. Those are great
Oh, yeah.
guitars. They're worth the price, but they are expensive.
How much is this?
That's like $1,000, a little more than $1,000. Well, I think PRS and everyone else has just raised their prices, so I'm not sure what it is now. But I got that for around $1,000 a couple of years back, new, and they're American. These are American made. I think this is one of the cheaper, more affordable American-made ones. But the one thing I really loved about whenever I heard David Grissom play was, he kind of got those, kind of twangy, stanky vibes out of the
Right.
DGT because of the particular pickups and how he plays and everything. And but I heard people playing this. I said, this is really damn close to that, but it's a lot less money and it looks cool.
Yeah, no, definitely. Clean sound.
surprisingly rich sound to my
Yeah.
ears. You know, it's very resonant. That's on the bridge, right? Yeah.
That's
so,
on the bridge, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's playable.
Yeah, you can split that. Yeah. Now you get closer to like a telly kind of vibe when you split that. Yeah.
Yeah, that twang.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That's really nice.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the bridge pick. I mean the neck pickup, right? It's just
So sweet.
that's so sweet. That's got sugar poured all over it. That's and I think a lot of the where this sits in terms of a palette of tones is not really where people think of PRS.
Right.
You know, PRS does that more Les Paul-y, compressed humbucker guitar.
That's right.
And that neck is so for me, it's very comfortable to play.
I gotta say, man, it's surprisingly good.
I've been telling him for a year. I've been telling him, dude, you got. I want you to try this guitar because I think this will.
Let's play with the Gladio now.
Yeah.
So Gladio, single channel.
Try in the middle position. Get both the pickups working.
Yeah, it's more like a telly, right?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
you do.
You
man.
can feel it, right?
I can tell. I can tell. Yeah, that guitar does that so well.
Right.
That it's kind of got like almost a vocal, a certain kind of vocalness to it that just oozes out of it.
I really like the neck.
Yeah.
It's really...
It's smaller. It's
Yeah.
a little smaller, but it doesn't feel small.
It reminds me of the SG. You were
Yep.
right.
Yeah, it's very it reminds me of an SG. It was
Right.
like an SG Telly had a baby and then it got offset for some reason. I don't know why. And what I love it's so ergonomic.
Right.
The body because it doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I have a guitar on me with that thing.
That's
it's
that's
just,
right.
Which is nice.
That's really interesting. Even with distortion.
I didn't know you could do that.
It's really nice. It's really, really nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a Gibson PRS guy, but
Right.
but this is it's interesting.
I told you this was an entry level drug for me. This guitar was I was definitely not a PRS guy. In fact, I hated PRS. I'm like I don't want to play one of these guitars. But this turned me on to them, and now I own this and 2 Silver Skies.
Oh, you should bring them.
I'll bring them next time. I know you've told me you don't like them, or you didn't really cotton to them. They weren't up your alley. And I agree with you. I thought that for years, and then you know what's interesting? And I'll bring it up. I think Strats have there's different. I mean, people will argue forever on this. I think we should get to the comments too. But I think people will argue forever that Strats, different years have different vibes.
Right.
You know. And I was looking for a guitar that had like a Strat, but not a twangy Strat.
Right.
You know, something that was like apparently the '63 Strat. You know, that it was a meteor sounding Strat.
Right. We had a conversation.
Yeah, and for whatever, and I think it's not just the instrument itself. It's the instrument and the player. You know, it's like what your touch, the instrument, and what you get
That's
out
right.
of it. And for me, all of a sudden, I picked up a Silver Sky just out of like for giggles in a store, and all of a sudden, like the sound that I wanted was coming out of that. And I was chasing Strats for like 2 years. I'm like, there's a sound I want, and all of a sudden, I pick up the Silver Sky. I'm like, there it is. That's what I was looking for.
So that's the question.
Yeah.
And you don't feel about the PRS to be too HD, right?
You know what's interesting is I think it is a little HD in terms of what you're getting out of the pickups. And what's interesting to me, I don't know if you caught it, and some of the guys, because I'm starting to see some more people playing the Silver Skies, some interesting people. You know, and in the last couple of months, I don't know if you noticed, Philip Sace
Yeah, definitely.
was playing. You know, I mean, this is the guy that's like the modern flag bearer for all things vintage relics.
Right.
You know, like Strats. You know,
Right.
like, and he's out there. All of a sudden, he brings out a Silver Sky. What I thought was interesting was that he still absolutely sounds like him on that guitar, and he made it sound, you know, like his sound. He's got the whole Hendrix SRV Stevie vibe.
Right.
But there was a couple of videos online on some shows where he switches back between
Interesting.
his Fender and the Silver Sky, and
Right.
you will hear exactly what you said, a little bit more of a high definition with the Silver Sky. But it's so and you can hear it in his playing. His playing all of a sudden becomes slightly more fluid. Like the notes, the way the notes
Of the
come
Silver
Together on the Silver Sky,
Yeah.
the way they kind of flow together is you can hear it if you're listening for it, I think. But it's still equally good. And the great thing for me was that I'm like, wow, here's a Silver Sky, and this guy's getting the Stevie Ray Vaughan tones out of
Right,
it, which
right.
is a different Strat flavor.
Definitely.
But he's getting it out of the Silver Sky as well, as opposed to the John Mayer
Yeah, no,
tones
definitely.
as well. So
I mean, it's a great project.
Yeah.
We have to say that. I mean, it's
and the other thing I like about the Silver Sky is that I think when you pick up a Strat, even if it's a Suhr or a Suhr S type, any kind of S type guitar, it comes with this mental baggage of this is what you play on this guitar.
Right.
Right.
Right. That's right.
And with the Silver Sky for me is interesting because I pick it up and I don't feel like I'm necessarily playing a Strat, so I don't have to pay homage to like.
That's interesting.
I don't have to play the
Right.
standard Strat licks on
Right,
it.
right.
It's giving me something slightly different, although it's still, for all intents and purposes,
Right. Right.
you know,
right.
a Strat type of guitar.
Got it.
you know,
Yeah.
So next time I'll bring it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That would be fantastic
yeah,
too.
yeah. You're gonna have to let me know because I have a rosewood board and a maple board. So
Oh,
you
yeah.
gotta let me know which one you.
You have the whole line, almost, right? That's good.
Yeah.
So, okay, so I would close the first episode with pick comparison.
Oh yeah. Here we
You
go.
should do that.
Save the best for last.
Mm-hmm.
So, shall we try the? You want to try the blue chip?
I want to try that,
All right.
yeah.
And yeah, I think you should try it on yours, so
Mhm.
we have the most. This is the pick of destiny, right? That's what they call this, right? Yeah, I'll place it there for you, my friend.
So we're gonna try this guy. Okay, so same kind of instrument, same kind of guitar, but with the blue chip. And let's see what happens. Do you guys hear any difference? That's the question. So let's try the Diadario one. So it's supposed to be pretty similar.
And this is what you've been using lately.
No,
you
actually,
just got it. Okay.
yeah, I just
All
got
right,
it.
This is interesting. Okay.
Can you hear any difference?
Switch back.
Let's do a blind test.
All right, we're gonna do a blind test. All right, I'm not gonna look.
First one, second one.
Do the first one again. Do a little bit of both again.
Okay, first one. Second one.
The attack's different,
Oh yeah.
I think. I don't know if you're feeling it or hearing anything different. They're real close.
You wanna know the reality?
You used the same one both times, didn't you?
I wasn't using a pick.
I hate you. I hate you. You're terrible. You're a very mean man. How would you? You're doing me dirty here on our first show. It's horrible. It's horrible.
So fun.
No, really.
Really, I don't need any difference. No, actually, this is a little bit better to me
Okay.
because it's thicker.
Yeah.
And you have a little bit more control to me, but I don't hear any different. Let's try with
Do you
Queen
feel
Sound.
any different other than the thickness? Because what I did like about this pick was that it didn't. Some picks feel like they kind of get stuck on the string. They kind of hold onto the string a little bit. This doesn't. It just feels like to me it just cuts through. And this might the Diadario one you have here might be doing exactly the same thing. It's pretty similar. Yeah.
In terms of sound, I don't hear any different from these two.
Yeah, I don't hear very much.
It should be the same material, I guess.
Now let's see. I got this crazy chicken pick. thing.
Alien pick.
Yeah, which is thicker. It's going to be a thicker pick. But
Uh-huh.
you're going to hate it. I hate it. I'm just curious if you hate it as much as I
I don't hate it.
do. Okay.
I wouldn't use it, but I don't hate it.
Okay, hate was a strong word. Let's put a little dirt on that. I do hear.
You can feel the difference.
Yeah, I can.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't hear any difference.
Yeah, between those, between the DDR
Yeah.
and the blue chip. No, there's no. You gotta teach me these licks, these hot licks, Pannozzo hot licks.
But what about this?
That's your fingers, man.
It was funny. It was funny.
You're hurting me, man. You're making me look bad.
No. The opposite.
Here, play more on the chicken pick, man.
But why did they call it chicken pick? You have to.
You have to chicken pick with it.
Or something like that. I really love this.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
How do you pronounce this? Casein?
Casein, yeah, I
Casein?
think so, yeah.
From milk?
It's a protein, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a protein from milk.
So you go.
So
you gotta take that on your gym days. That's it. You gotta go to the gym, get your workout in, and then use this pick. You get all your protein from the pick.
actually, they have a face recognition. So, okay, now it works.
So, and how much do those?
I think $20.
Oh, okay. So those aren't cheap either.
No, they aren't.
So, okay. All right. So these are uptown picks. You play the fancy, expensive chords with those picks.
Can you feel the difference between this?
I think with a pick, it just comes down to, it's just a tactile thing. It's like whatever works for you.
Yeah.
Whatever makes it. I think, like we were saying before, like however you interface with the instrument, where you're not thinking about that you're interfacing with the instrument.
That's
just,
right.
Whatever flows the best is what you use.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
I'm constantly changing picks, actually, experimenting with new materials and not shape, actually. I don't like weird shape. It doesn't work with me.
I agree with you on that.
But definitely different materials. It's interesting to experiment with that, to get a different feeling.
Yeah, I used to back in the 80s,
when I was unborn.
When you weren't born, and we had long hair flowing, and I used a metal pick because that's what Eddie Van Halen used. That's what Billy Gibson had. That's what Brian May used. So you're like, for the tone, you gotta use the metal pick, and that would you get like 2 days out of a set of strings because you're just killing the strings. But they definitely had a very particular sound and a definitely the way it kind of bounces off the string. It's kind of interesting, but no one really uses that. I don't think the metal picks.
I never used that.
Yeah, I don't use them anymore, and if I go back to use it, it feels really weird.
Right?
Yeah, and it sounds weird. It sounds. I mean, I think too. It depends on what sound like. At that point, we were playing through a lot of gain.
Right.
So it didn't really matter what
exactly
what pick you were playing with. Yeah, they gave you some articulation. But now if you're playing through a much cleaner sound with these, especially with the overdrives now the way they are, the metal pick sounds really harsh.
Yeah.
So wow, we did guitars, we did a pedal, we did picks.
We covered everything.
Almost. We didn't do amps. We didn't. I'm not bringing an amp. Well, you know what? I think I have an amp I can bring next time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think that might be interesting. So I'm not gonna.
Don't tell them.
I'm not telling them. But I think I think I have a cool amp because it's a solid state amp, and I know you hate those. So I want to keep throwing things at you that make you uncomfortable. Here's a PRS, here's a strange pick.
Push me.
Right?
You're challenging me.
I
Yes.
mean, all right.
Let's see some comments. We haven't paid much attention to that, but
We're terrible. I'm sorry I'm distracting him from the comments.
Alessio dice sempre fantastico i testi suonati, gran belle chitarre, molto interessante la PRS. Grazie Alessio. Yeah, la PRS è molto interessante infatti perché traduco è inutile. I'm translating.
I got that.
You got that?
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so
It's all French to me, but it's,
it's French.
is it French? No,
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 it's
it's
not.
not French. We don't want.
And yeah, è molto interessante, sì, molto interessante. Cioè Lucas dice, Davide, a Napoli si direbbe hai la cazzimma. You know cazzimma?
You're gonna tell me what it means.
Cazzimma is like you got a groove. You got a
Uh,
groove. But it's a Napolitan
saying.
word, yeah,
Right,
saying,
okay,
yes.
gotcha.
You have a cazzimma, that's like you got a groove. That was funny. Okay, Fabio says the blue one sounds more Philip, lot brighter.
Interesting.
We should go back and try it again.
All right.
Let's do the last A
Yeah,
B
we'll-
Let's change key. So I'm gonna try just two positions because
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's home base for you. I mean, that guitar
Yeah.
is what I
Exactly.
associate with you, and you.
you know my
Yeah,
sound.
I know your style. I know your sound, and that it comes with that guitar.
exactly.
You know, you switch it up with some other things, but with that, although it sounds pretty good on this one too, I think.
This is interesting.
I know. It is brighter, I think.
Yeah, it is brighter.
Yeah.
It's different.
It's different.
Nice, very
Yeah, that
nice.
sounds. You sound good on them. You sound good on all the guitars. Although I like you on the PRS.
You tempted me.
I'm telling you, it has something different. That's what I like about it. What else? What else did people say?
Danny says che goduria sentir suonare Davide anche solo improvvisazione al momento. Grazie Danny. Okay, so I think we covered everything, right?
Yeah,
And it was a lot of fun.
it was.
We
We have to do this. I mean, let's see if people want us to do this again.
Should we do it again? Let's open.
We should do it again.
Let's open a contest. Just let us know, okay? So we just hang out and talk about gear and
And whatever else.
yeah, whatever.
Whatever else comes up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next time, cats.
Cats and amps.
And
These are
whatever.
good, yeah.
And coffee.
And
yeah.
well, we have to talk about
I
coffee.
ran out of coffee. I'm sorry about that. We just
We ran out of coffee.
yeah.
I gotta go. I can't stay.
We cannot be friends anymore.
We can't be friends anymore. And you bring that good Italian coffee too.
To be friend with Brian, you have to not be a Trump voter, right? We say that.
Oh, we're not bringing that into. We're talking guitars here.
We get you gotta love coffee,
Coffee
and guitars.
and guitars, loud guitars and
Loud guitars.
and black coffee.
And black coffee. That was the original idea.
That was the
I
original
forgot
idea.
that.
Yeah,
We should keep that.
we should.
Okay, ragazzi. Thank you for watching. Brian here. Much love from New York. I see you guys soon, okay? Bye.